Hey man, you know what time it is? It's garden time. One thing that everyone likes to ask about this time of the year are raised beds. A great question I have gotten is how to make a cheap garden bed. Now, after studying the matter ever so diligently and carefully, I think I have an answer. Of course, nothing is cheaper than free. So if you happen to have some railroad ties hanging around your backyard, or you're tearing down your deck, or you have a pallet of cinder blocks handy, you know, you're in business. You can just make it out of that. But for many people, you know, they have to go out and buy something at the store. Now, many people worry about using treated lumber because of the chemicals in it. And no doubt, brand new treated lumber will be dripping with it. In fact, if you read that little label at the end, it'll kind of scare you a little bit. So my preferred method is to get old, weathered, treated wood. Now, I made my grandmother a flower box one time. She asked me to make her one for her porch. And I just made it out of 1x6 treated wood that I'd bought. A year later, I called her up and I asked her, I said, how's that flower box doing? She told me, she said, I never could get anything to grow in it. And so that told me that, you know, even the flowers to grow wouldn't grow in that box. Now, of course, it was a little narrow box, but, you know, take it for what it's worth. Now, outside of treated lumber, what choice do you have? Untreated will rot out fairly quickly. Even cedar will. Redwood is supposed to be good, but it's very expensive if you can even get it. Now, I'll show you what I think is the cheapest way to go to make raised garden beds if you're going to go out and buy stuff. Now, it seems there are 2 or 3 considerations when you're going to make a raised bed or what you're going to make it out of. One is durability. Is it going to last, or is it just going to rot and fall apart? Number 2 is your health, which the treated lumber, we already talked about that. And the other is appearance. You know, most of them kind of will look okay, but the cinder block one really kind of looks unsightly. So those are really the 3 considerations. Now, I did a video on attractive raised beds that I showed you in the, you know, for a planter area on a patio. You can look in my old videos and see that if you want to. But here's what I've come up with, a solution for all you tightwads like me. Hardy plank siding. Or something similar. Maybe they have a different brand name. What it is a cement type board used for siding. It won't rot and it won't make you sick, and it's not bad looking either. So I'll make one up and I'll show you how easy it can be. Okay, this is the hardy plank siding I was talking about. I'm going to make a raised bed. These are 12 foot long. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 4 feet off of each one, and that'll leave me a 4x8 box. And I'll show you how I make the corners up to fasten the corners. Now, these are great. The only thing is they're a little bit flimsy. But once you've got your box made and you put a few stakes along the sides, you don't have any problem with that. So let me show you how we're going to cut it. Okay, now this is a carbide scoring knife. We use these a lot to cut laminate, but I think it'll cut this too. You basically score it and then snap the sheet. So let's try that. Okay, so now we got our pieces cut. The next step is to put the blocking for the corners. Now, what I've got here is I've got some blocks of treated lumber, which I'm obviously fastening at the ends here. You don't want to put your screw too close to the edge because this stuff is a little bit brittle and it'll just kind of break out. If you're worrying about these little blocks of treated wood in your corners, you can put the block to the outside, so it's not a problem either way. Okay, we've got our ends made up. Now, like I said, if you don't want these blocks on the inside, you can put them on the outside. Got this thing all assembled, and now the only thing you got to do is put some, as you fill it up, put some stakes, a few stakes along the outside perimeter, because it is a little bit flexible. Now, generally, what I do is I put my box in place, and then I come in here with a shovel, and I dig down about the depth of one shovel down into the ground, get all that dirt out. So my bed, although it doesn't look very tall, I have good soil going down to a much deeper level than it might appear. Now, if you want this box to be taller, you simply take these blocks, extend them up, and you can run 2 bands of this around, or however deep you want to make it. And then again, you stake your sides. So these pieces, I think, are somewhere around the price range of $6-7 for each 12-foot strip. So that's a pretty economical. So for this box here, it cost about $13 to make. That's pretty cheap. If you know of something cheaper, if you've got a better idea, share it. Tell it. We all want to know about it. Thanks for watching.